Ghouls, welcome back to my channel. Elizabeth here. So today, Ghouls, I have a very fun project for you Ghouls. We are going to do another DIY project. I went to the thrift store and never usually go through the sleeping bag aisle, but this time I went to the sleeping bag aisle because there's many puffer jackets out these days, but they're not really quite my style, or I want them to be more than just a jacket. I want them to have more oomph to them. So I found these two sleeping bags that are Monster High, and you guys know I love Monster High dolls and Monster High, everything about them. So I found two sleeping bags that are of Monster High. It's this one. This one's really cool because it has all the Monster High dolls standing up. So I'm debating either to use that as the front or the back. And then we have this other one that just shows the faces of the Monster High characters. So I was so happy I found them. I said, you know what? Let's try to make a puffer jacket out of sleeping bags and make it more my style of how I like things to be over the top. So I found these were the only two that I found. The only bad thing was that they're both different fabric. You see how this one's more shinier than this one. This one's like more of a matted look, but who cares? We're gonna make it work. So we're gonna make a puffer jacket today out of these sleeping bags and see how it turns out. Let's get to it on making our own puffer jacket out of sleeping bags. So this is the first sleeping bag I laid out, and I was so happy to find sleeping bags like this because there's not that many puffer jackets that are Monster High themed and are for adults. So when I thought of this idea to make a puffer jacket out of sleeping bags, I said this is the perfect opportunity for me to make an adult jacket that is Monster High themed. So I think with this first sleeping bag, I have decided that I'm going to use it for the front panels, because since these two sleeping bags are children's size, so they're a little bit more skinnier and shorter. So I'm going to have to figure out a way how to do like the panels in the front, the back, and the sleeves. So this one I think I'm going to do for the front panels, since it shows them standing up and you can see their complete outfits of the four characters. I'm going to use it for the front panels. I'm going to do the front part first, and I went ahead and opened this sleeping bag all the way for it could be flat and you would not be working on both layers but just one layer at a time. And the way that I got the pattern pieces to make this puff jacket is I went to a thrift store and found a jacket that was kind of the same shape of how I want to make this puff jacket, because keep in mind you're gonna take apart that jacket you find that you want that has the perfect fit for you could trace it and make the patterns for it. So once you have thoroughly cleaned the sleeping bags, you could go ahead and lay the sleeping bag flat and then cut out the pieces with the patterns of how you want the jacket to look like. Okay, so I've cut the two front pieces out of the first sleeping bag, and as you can see I still have enough room to probably put a sleeve that way, so we'll figure that out. So once you cut out all the pieces for the jacket, you're going to want to stay stitch all the pieces to make sure that the three layers of the sleeping bag can stay together and they won't shift when you're sewing up the jacket together. So make sure to stay stitch all the way around with the biggest stitch. Stay stitch all the pieces, for they will not shift or move when you stitch them all together. with the extra pieces I had left over, I made a big bow to put in the back of it, and there were some characters left over, so I put it kind of like a bow tie. But once you finish sewing all the pieces together of the jacket, you can start adding accessories to it. It's not going to look that pretty on the inside since we're working with sleeping bags, but at least the outside looks really good. Here's one of the sleeves. Make sure to roll in the sleeves and sew it twice, because that's where the most traffic is going to happen when someone pulls their hand in and out. But so far, like all that I need so far is just the zipper in the front and put some pockets in the inside. I'm debating either to put them on the outside or the inside, whichever will look better, because I don't want to block the characters either. So far, this is what the jacket looks like. Other sleeve, but this is what the jacket looks like in the front. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the dress form to put the bow and the zipper and the pockets, and then we're done. Okay, so this is what the puff jacket looks like right now. All I need to do to finish it is put the zipper down the front, and we're all good to go. So this is made out of 2 sleeping bags of Monster High. And then, oh yeah, and I still got to put the pockets in the inside, because I don't want to put the pockets on the outside because of how it's gonna disrupt the characters in the front. So I don't want to do that. So I'll just put the pockets in the inside. And then let me show you, ghouls, what I love the best, or what I love the most about this jacket. Let me turn it around. I have made a big bow out of the leftover stuff. Out of the leftover material, I made the big bow for the back. So this is how, because I wanted to incorporate the rest of the characters some way or another. So I put them right here on the bow, and then it has the Monster High logo on the bow as well. I just love how the big bow, that's why I decided to make the back blue, because I knew the big bow was going to cover majority of the back, so you wouldn't even be able to notice it. But I love the back detailing with the bow. But let me finish it up and show you, ghouls, the results. Okay, I'm going to sew the pockets in the inside. I kind of guesstimated how big to make the pocket according to like how big phones are nowadays. So I just cut like 2 corners of the leftover sleeping bag I had. I'm just gonna sew them onto the inside so I can have pockets in this jacket. And here is a finished puff jacket made out of 2 children's sleeping bags of Monster High. I love how it came out. I love how it has the Monster High characters in the front, and on the sleeve you can see better some of the characters I put on the sleeves as well. Best part that I love the most is the big bow that I put in the back. Look how gorgeous it looks. I love this puff jacket. It's so different than everything else, and it's crazy how this is my first time turning sleeping bags into a puff jacket. And it came out awesome, like better than I expected. I love this. So this is the back of it with the big bow, and I used the inside of the sleeping bags to make the back, since the bow was gonna cover the back. I didn't really care about putting the characters in the back of the jacket, so I made sure to put them on the sleeves and in the front. Oh, and I forgot to show you, ghouls, the inside of it. And I put pockets in the inside, and I made sure to hand stitch the pockets with like some leftover pieces I had to the inside, because I didn't want the string to pop out in the front. So I had to hand stitch the pockets on the inside. So it has one on each side, big enough to fit a lot of stuff in there. And I made sure to reinforce it and it's really stuck in there. And I love how I made sure to pick out one of the edges that had close endings to make it easier for me to put the pockets in. So I just sewed, this one had 3 pieces I had to sew, and then it had this closed up. So I used the ends of the sleeping bags, the spare pieces, to make the pockets in the inside. But that's it for today, Ghouls. Thank you for joining me today on creating this beautiful jacket out of kids' sleeping bags. And I specifically love it more because it's Monster High themed, and you Ghouls know there's hardly anything out for adults that's Monster High. So I was over the moon happy when I was able to find 2 sleeping bags at a thrift store where I could turn them into a sleeping bag. And I had so much fun today, Ghouls. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, Ghouls, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can get notified when I upload new videos. And thank you, Ghouls, for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!